Okay, this is Taejun Chun, and at the beginning of this term for EDC 527, one of my goals, or my goal for this course, was to start building a library of videos by either downloading them, collecting them, or creating them myself so that I can use in the classroom and for students who may miss a day and need to review the lesson notes or the lessons. Previously, what I've done in the past, like many other teachers, is use some kind of presentation software, such as Keynote or PowerPoint. This is Keynote. And I would often use Keynote because then it projects on the screen and students have time to copy down any notes that they need to, and it keeps it simple and easy for them to use. Also, with my current school site, we do have limited technology, unfortunately, and I do have a projector that's available. So between the limited technology and what I feel is easiest for the students, I've always used Keynote or PowerPoint. Unfortunately, with just using Keynote or PowerPoint, even though I do convert this into Google Slides, and then I am able to put these slides that can be played on my website, I felt that the students that missed that day were still missing out quite a bit on the discussion and what takes place inside the classroom. At the same time, once I started having discussions and or lecturing or waiting for the students to finish writing down notes, the recording file using something like a screencast program like QuickTime, which is what I'm using now, lasted too long and the file would be too big in memory. And then I would even have trouble downloading it, let alone parents with computers that may not be as up to par or internet speeds that are a little bit slower at their home. And so to overcome this, I started focusing on having quick little videos that I would download from YouTube and I would embed them within the slideshow. Learning how to put that on Google Slides and embed the video on Google Slides allows my students to go ahead and watch the slideshow on my website and play the short video as well. The key I found was to keeping the video short. Keep it about 5 minutes or less, and that way it doesn't take up too much memory, and then it's not too difficult to download. Having that said, I was also interested in looking into creating my own videos, either through screencasting. As far as using like Movie Maker, I just found that to be too time and energy intensive, too much work for me to do in addition to teaching and my family life and everything else that's going on. And also with, again, with a limited technology, our technology isn't the greatest at my school site. And so after doing some research, I discovered a program called Screen Ink. Wait a minute, I forgot the name of the program. I'll look it up right here. It is SwordSoft Screen Ink. Using that application, I am able to do a couple of things. This is it right here. First, I want to say that my goal was to download or create at least one video per week. Over the past 9 weeks, I have been able to download or create closer to 30. So my library is on its way, which I am able to store and I can use and bring out next year as I plan my lessons. Um, but this is when you open up SwordSoft Screen Ink. This is the menu bar that you get, and from here you can click that. For instance, tells that you're using the mouse. That is some type of marker, and so you can see I can mark on my screen, and then I can go ahead and delete it. This one is like a highlighter, so I can highlight stuff. I can pick different colors. So if I wanted to use like a teal, then I can use that to highlight and tell my students, hey, listen, look at, I want you to pay attention to this. And then this tool actually allows me to type onto the screen. So if I wanted to add extra notes for students, then I can go ahead and do that, and it stays right there on the screen. And then once again, I can go ahead and delete the screen and start all over again. So in the classroom, what I've done is I set my QuickTime screencast recorder to just the screen on my lesson slides. So in this area right here. As you can see, by doing this, then the students will not see the toolbar or the slides on the side. Having that said, first what I do is I bring up the slides, and for instance on this slide I would have the students copy down the notes or write down these notes, and I would give them a few minutes to do that, 5 minutes or whatever it takes. And then after they are done, or when they are close to finishing, then I'll go ahead and pull up the screen ink and I'll start pointing stuff out. So for instance, I'll use a different color, say use red. And what I'll point out is things like, notice how the length of one side and the length of the other side in a rectangle are exactly the same. And the width, both widths are also exactly the same. And therefore, that's how we get 2 times length, 2L, plus 2W will equal the perimeter. And unfortunately, because I'm using my mouse, the writing is a little difficult, but I can also type it. So I could use the type feature. I can put here, this is why we get 2L, 2L plus 2W equals the perimeter. And then I can leave that right there. And then just to bring attention to it in the video, I can get my highlighter out and I can highlight it. Say this is important, pay attention to this. I can proceed to use my marker or my pen and point out some other notes. For instance, here 6 times 2 is 12, so 6 times 2 is 12, 5 times 2 is 10. Over here you have the same thing, 6 and 6 is 12, 5 and 5 is 10, for a total of 22. Do you notice how you get the same answer? The perimeter is always going to be the same, and that's how you catch the perimeter. And I would only spend a few minutes giving this direct instruction and pointing out these little highlights. And then if I decide to make a mistake or I want to point something else out, I can go ahead and erase the screen. Now what I like about this is that I can keep the video to under 5 minutes because they've already spent 5 to 10 minutes copying this down. And with the different markers and highlight features and stuff like that, I can go ahead and emphasize or point out different things for them to focus on, like the idea of 2 6s and 2 5s, which is where we get 2L plus 2W equals the perimeter of a rectangle. With other lessons, for instance, the perimeter of a triangle, I can bring up that slide and then go ahead and highlight it this way too. Then after I finish, I simply save the screencast, I load it up to YouTube, and then I can go ahead and embed that on my website so that all they get is a few minutes, 3 to 6 minutes say, of the direct instruction that they need to focus on without the screencast recording, the waiting time while they write it down, and then also discussions that happen while I'm giving this direct instruction. Students will ask a couple of questions, and I can keep it all under 10 minutes. I can keep it in a reasonable amount of time. So between using a SwordSoft screen ink and the QuickTime screencasting, which are both free, I am able to create videos, quick videos of my lesson plans, of my lessons for students. And this could be used in a flipped classroom setting, or for students that are homeschooled, or for students that are out sick or on a trip and not able to attend school. Whatever the reason might be, they can go ahead and watch these videos, and at their own pace they can rewind it, watch again, rewind it, watch again, slow it down, pause it. They can go ahead and manipulate the video as they see fit in order to get everything they can out of it. So this has been an extremely, I believe, a productive term with this class, and I plan on continuing to use these tools so that I can simply just go ahead and upload it to my website.